Chosen one. Something stirs around you the moment you open your heart to these words. As if the air itself shifts and leans closer. You can feel it in the quiet spaces behind your ribs, the subtle tightening in your spirit, the gentle pressure that tells you heaven is paying attention. You are not here by coincidence. You were pulled, drawn, guided, ushered into this moment because your obedience has set spiritual things in motion, things far greater than you realize. Things already unfolding in realms you cannot see. And whether you are fully aware of it or not, your obedience has summoned angels. You may underestimate what you did, but heaven does not. Most people stall when God whispers. They analyze, negotiate, rationalize, or postpone. But you, despite uncertainty, despite exhaustion, chose to obey. Maybe your obedience was quiet. Maybe it was private, hidden in the corners of your life, where no applause could reach it. But obedience does not need an audience to be powerful. In the unseen realm, it is thunder, it is movement, it is activation. Your yes reverberated through the spiritual dimensions like a clear sound that angels cannot ignore and darkness cannot counterfeit. This is why the atmosphere around you feels different. Even if you cannot yet articulate it, something inside you has shifted. Old desires are fading. Old habits feel foreign. Old environments feel too small. People you once connected with now feel distant. Not because something is wrong with them, but because something has changed within you. You have stepped into alignment. And when you align with heaven, heaven aligns with you. Your obedience recalibrated your steps, and the ripple is still moving outward. Right now, angels are stepping into position around your life. They are moving with purpose, clearing what needs to be cleared, exposing what needs to be exposed, sealing what needs to be sealed. You may feel sudden clarity rising inside you, or a peace that you cannot explain, or a weight lifting from your shoulders. You may feel more sensitive, more aware, more spiritually alert. These are not random emotions. They are the early signs that heaven has responded to your yes. And the truth is this: your obedience was not small. It was a spiritual turning point. One act of surrender carries more authority than 1,000 moments of indecision. God does not look for perfection, He looks for obedience. He looks for hearts that say yes, even when their minds feel unsure, even when circumstances feel impossible, and you gave Him that yes. Because of that, heaven testifies on your behalf. The ancient words recorded in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 2, "And all these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God." These are not poetic phrases. They are spiritual laws. When you obey, heaven moves. When you align, the divine realm accelerates around you. Blessings do not walk toward you. They overtake you. They chase you down. They surround you. They catch you even when you are not fast enough to chase them yourself. This is why the resistance felt heavier before you obeyed. Darkness always senses breakthrough before you do. The enemy fought hard because he saw what would happen the moment you surrendered. And now the very thing he feared has occurred. Heaven is moving quickly. Angels are taking their places. The spiritual tide is shifting in your favor. Opportunities that once seemed locked are beginning to respond to your presence. Conversations that seemed stagnant are being stirred. Delays that once lingered are losing their grip, falling away like chains, no longer strong enough to hold you. And you feel it. You feel the momentum, the pull, the divine rhythm guiding your steps. Your obedience has opened gates. Your obedience has activated protection. Your obedience has shifted timelines. Your obedience has repositioned you for encounters, relationships, resources, and breakthroughs that have been waiting for the moment you would align with God's voice. Chosen one. If your spirit is resonating, if something inside you feels awakened, confirmed, or deeply stirred, it's because these words are not merely being read, they are being recognized by your soul. You are feeling the breath of heaven on your life, the movement of angels around you, the unfolding of something sacred you were always meant to walk into. As a prophetic act of alignment, comment the number 111 below. 111 is gelijk aan, I walk in obedience, and heaven moves with me. And if this message spoke to you, if it felt like it reached directly into your spirit, then like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss what heaven is preparing to speak next. You move forward from the moment of obedience without fully realizing that something within you has already shifted. It isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. But it is unmistakably present, like the quiet hum of heaven vibrating beneath the surface of your life. You begin to notice an unusual clarity rising inside you, a sense that the world around you feels subtly rearranged, as if the atmosphere has been touched, adjusted, refined. What you do not yet see with your eyes, your spirit has already felt. A signal has been released from deep within you, a frequency that only heaven recognizes. This signal, born from obedience, from surrender, from whispered yes, travels farther than you imagine. It is not measured by volume, but by purity. Even the smallest act of obedience carries a resonance that moves through realms unseen, calling forth what was assigned to you long before this moment. You don't have to shout to get heaven's attention. You simply have to align your heart. And when you obeyed, that alignment became a spiritual beacon. You may feel as though you've been walking through your life unseen, unnoticed, overlooked in hidden corners where your sacrifices felt known only to you. But heaven has been watching differently. Heaven hears differently. Heaven responds differently. And now, as you step into this deeper awareness, you begin to understand that your spirit has been communicating with God in ways your mind never fully grasped. There are moments when you felt a sudden urge to walk away from something, or an unexpected nudge to reach out, or a quiet conviction guiding you to shift your focus. These were not random impulses. They were signals, your spirit sending upward what your mouth did not know how to articulate. Obedience refines that signal. It sharpens it, amplifies it, clears away the static of doubt and fear that once muffled your intuition. You start to sense how the invisible realm listens. You start to sense how heaven leans in. And even though your circumstances may not have visibly changed, you feel something watching over you with intentional awareness. As David wrote in the ancient Psalms, in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 15, the eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. This is not poetic symbolism, this is spiritual reality. Your signal has reached the throne. Your obedience has caught heaven's attention. God's gaze is upon you with precision, with tenderness, with purpose. His ear is tuned to the very whispers of your heart. to the quiet cries you never voiced aloud, to the desires you buried under layers of survival and resilience. He hears you in ways you do not hear yourself. And because heaven hears you, angels respond. You may not see them physically, but you feel the consequences of their movement. You sense the shift in the room when you wake up with unexpected peace. You notice the subtle dissolving of anxiety that once clung to your chest. You realize that certain thoughts once loud and consuming now seem strangely distant, weakened by a force you cannot explain. These are signs that angels have already begun interfering with the things that once interfered with you. Your spirit, once weighed down, now begins to lift. Not because everything around you has changed, but because everything within you is changing. You sense a new clarity emerging, a deeper sensitivity to what aligns with your purpose and what distracts from it. Conversations that once entertained you now feel draining. Environments that once comforted you now feel limiting. People who once had access to your vulnerability no longer feel safe. This is the signal recalibrating your world. You are no longer vibrating at the frequency of your past wounds or old fears. Your spirit is broadcasting something higher, something cleaner, something more aligned with who you truly are. Angels move where obedience points. They respond to alignment. They follow the signal of surrendered hearts. And right now, they are following yours. Even if you do not see outcomes yet, the movement has already begun. The rearranging is underway. The spiritual architecture around your life is being modified. Weak structures are being dismantled. Hidden traps are being exposed. And the weight of old burdens is losing its authority over your shoulders. You are becoming more aware of who you are, what you carry, and what no longer fits in the life heaven is preparing for you. This is why the inner stirring refuses to settle. This is why the restlessness you feel isn't discomfort, it is transformation. The signal within you is expanding with every step you take, and heaven continues to listen closely, attentively, without missing a single breath that rises from your soul. You continue walking forward, unaware that the very atmosphere around you is beginning to reorganize itself. Something in the unseen realm has shifted quietly at first. Then, with unmistakable intention, you sense it in your chest, in the stillness of your thoughts, in the moments when you pause for no reason other than the feeling that something is different. Something is moving. Something is aligning. This shift didn't begin today. It began the moment you obeyed. Your obedience sent out a signal, and that signal stirred the heavens into motion. Now, in the space around your life, unseen forces have been activated. They are adjusting, redirecting, dismantling, and reassigning things according to God's design for you. You may not always recognize spiritual warfare when it begins, because it doesn't always announce itself with dramatic force. Sometimes it begins as tension, sometimes as fatigue, sometimes as confusion that lingers like a fog. And yet beneath that fog, angels were already moving, positioning themselves on assignments you didn't know existed. There is a reason the atmosphere feels strangely clearer now. The invisible realm has shifted in your favor. Attacks that once found easy access now collide with resistance. Thoughts that once overwhelmed you now lose their authority. Fears that once whispered loudly now struggle to speak. You are stepping into a new spiritual altitude. And as you rise, the warfare below you weakens. This moment mirrors what was revealed long ago in sacred scripture. when heaven pulled back the veil so humanity could understand what happens behind the scenes. The ancient text records a divine encounter in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. Do not be afraid, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and humbled yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. These words are not just history, they are a pattern, a revelation, a window into what is happening around you now. Your surrender was heard on the first day. Your obedience drew response immediately. The shift you are sensing mirrors the very movement described in this ancient moment, the unseen realm responding to a heart aligned with God. You are not fighting alone. You never were. But now you are becoming aware of the reinforcement constantly present around you. When hell tries to pull you back into old cycles, angels disrupt the pull. When darkness tries to cloud your mind, light breaks through. When discouragement tries to creep in silently, you suddenly feel a strength. You cannot explain a strength that doesn't feel like your own. That is because it isn't. It is the strength of heaven at your side. The invisible realm is not at war with your destiny, it is defending it. What felt like increased chaos was actually increased protection. What felt like attack was the sound of angels drawing their line. What felt like heaviness was the pressure of heaven pushing back darkness. You have walked through seasons where the unseen fought against you. Now you are walking through a season where the unseen is fighting for you. And as the realm around you adjusts, something inside you adjusts as well. Your senses sharpen. Your discernment grows. Your awareness deepens. You begin recognizing what is spiritual and what is merely emotional. You begin distinguishing between distraction and divine direction. You begin realizing that not all tension is trouble. Sometimes it is transition, and not all stillness is silence. Sometimes it is strategy. The shift in the invisible realm is making you stronger, more stable, more attuned to the voice of God than ever before. You will not move blindly into your next season. Heaven is making sure of that. Chosen one. If you can feel any part of this, if your spirit is recognizing the truth rising within these words, then I want you to perform a small prophetic act, one that aligns your heart with what heaven is doing right now. Comment, I rise. These two words carry power because they echo what is happening in the unseen realm. Commenting them is not about social engagement, it is about spiritual agreement. It is a declaration that you recognize the shift, that you accept the elevation, and that you refuse to return to the old level where warfare once consumed you. You are rising because heaven has already risen around you, and every step you take from this moment forward will be guided, guarded, and reinforced by the unseen forces already moving in your favor. You move deeper into this unfolding awareness, and as you do, something becomes unmistakably clear. The light within you is no longer quiet. It is no longer subtle, hidden, or contained. It has grown, strengthened, intensified, so much so that the darkness around you has begun to notice. You may not realize how profoundly your inner transformation affects the world unseen, but the spiritual realm recognizes it immediately. Light always disturbs what has learned to operate in shadows, and the light in you has become impossible for darkness to ignore. You've sensed this in small, almost unexplainable ways. Moments when someone's energy shifted as soon as you entered the room, or when tension arose without cause, or when certain people suddenly pulled away from you without explanation. You might have interpreted these moments emotionally, wondering what you said or whether something was wrong with you. But this was not rejection, it was exposure. Your presence reveals what others try to conceal. Your honesty convicts what others try to excuse. Your purity irritates what others protect. It was never personal, it was spiritual. There are atmospheres you walk into that become unsettled because your spirit disrupts hidden intentions. There are individuals who once felt comfortable around you, but now feel uneasy. Not because you changed, but because your light grew. Darkness becomes restless in the presence of someone who is aligned, awakened, and obedient. Your obedience didn't just summon angels, it intensified your light, and that change forced ancient darkness to retreat. You may recall times when heaviness tried to press against you unexpectedly, when confusion seemed to rise without a clear source, or when familiar old temptations resurfaced, even though you had already outgrown them. These were not signs that you were failing. They were signs that darkness recognized your momentum and was attempting to resist it. But its resistance is weak against the radiance now stirring inside you. The sacred text reveals this truth clearly, written with a simplicity that carries unstoppable force. It states in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." This is not merely a poetic verse, it is a spiritual law. Wherever true light appears, darkness loses authority. No argument, no negotiation, no struggle. Light wins by being light, and you, chosen one, are beginning to embody that truth. The light within you is no longer a flicker fighting to stay alive. It is a steady flame, a growing blaze, a presence that disrupts what opposes your purpose. That is why certain cycles can no longer hold you. That is why certain temptations no longer tempt you. That is why certain relationships no longer feel aligned. You have entered a season where your light is too strong to coexist with anything that thrives in shadows. Your very existence challenges what once bound you, and while darkness may attempt to resist, its attempts have grown weaker, more transparent, easier for you to identify. What once confused you now feels obvious. What once deceived you now feels exposed. What once manipulated your emotions now reveals its true nature before it gets close. Your discernment is sharpening because the light within you is expanding. You see more clearly. You feel more deeply. You sense more accurately. The more your light strengthens, the more you notice internal shifts as well. Old fears no longer grip you with the same intensity. Old insecurities no longer define your identity. Old lies no longer settle in your mind. This is the work of heaven, refining you from within. When darkness can no longer touch your spirit, it loses influence over your thoughts. When it can no longer whisper to your soul, it loses power over your decisions. When it can no longer cloud your vision, it loses the ability to distract your destiny. You are being transformed into someone darkness cannot intimidate. Not because you are forceful, but because you are aligned. Not because you are loud, but because you are illuminated. Darkness cannot overcome what heaven has ignited, and heaven has ignited you. As you continue walking forward, you will notice this truth manifest even more deeply. You will sense greater stability in your emotions, greater clarity in your direction, greater peace in your decisions. You will experience sudden breakthroughs in areas that once felt blocked. You will feel the weight of old battles lifting as if someone else has begun to carry what once exhausted you, and that someone is heaven itself, responding to the radiance now, shaping your life. The darkness that once intimidated you now fears you, not because of who you were, but because of who you are becoming. You continue walking through this unfolding transformation. And as you do, you begin to sense something profound taking shape around your life. It's subtle at first, like the quiet shifting of wind in a forest, or the faint tremor of the earth before rain begins to fall. But then it grows clearer, stronger, more certain. You are not walking alone. You have never walked alone. Yet now, more than ever, you feel the nearness of something protective, something purposeful, something assigned specifically to you. It is as if the path beneath your feet has changed texture, no longer fragile, no longer uncertain, but steadier, firmer, reinforced by an unseen presence. You sense movement around you, not threatening, but comforting, like the presence of companions traveling just behind your shoulder, quiet but alert, like guardians walking with you through fields, valleys, and places where you once felt exposed. The air feels watched over, not by fear, but by vigilance. This is the work of heaven's reinforcement. Your obedience did not simply summon angels, it positioned them. They have taken their posts. They have surrounded your steps. They move with purpose, with precision, with devotion to the assignment God placed over your life. You may not hear their footsteps, but you feel their effect. Situations that once would have overwhelmed you now dissolve. Attacks that once reached you now fall short. Confusion that once clouded your mind now clears before it settles. The ancient writings reveal this reality with remarkable clarity as it is spoken in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. These are not symbolic words. They are a declaration of divine infrastructure, a spiritual security system built specifically for those who walk in alignment with God. Think of it this way: your life has become a protected garden. Once, weeds of fear and doubt grew unchecked. Shadows lingered, hiding subtle threats. But now, angelic guardians patrol its pathways like master gardeners, pulling out what does not belong, guarding the entrances, watching over the soil of your soul. The garden remains peaceful not because danger never tries to enter, but because heaven prevents anything destructive from taking root. Or imagine your journey as a ship crossing unpredictable waters. In past seasons, storms shook you violently. Waves crashed without mercy, and you often felt as though your vessel would split apart. But now, unseen hands steady the wheel. Winds that once pushed against you now seem redirected. Waves calm faster than before. Threats dissolve before they escalate. This is not coincidence. This is reinforcement angels assigned as crew, stabilizing what once threatened to overturn your life. There is a reason you feel more clarity, more composure, more peace. Angels are not only guarding your path, they are clearing it. And as they do, you begin to sense a newfound freedom. The freedom to breathe deeper, the freedom to rest without fear of what may come next, the freedom to move forward without constantly looking over your shoulder. You are protected in ways your natural eyes cannot perceive. And heaven is intentional about every detail surrounding you. As these reinforcements operate around your life, something else happens internally. Your confidence grows, not arrogance, but assurance. You begin to walk differently, with a quiet strength born from knowing you are backed by forces far greater than anything opposing you. You move with the awareness that heaven is invested in your journey. You speak with a steadiness that comes from sensing that every word you release carries weight. You dream more boldly because you no longer carry the fear of journeying alone. Chosen one. This is a sacred season for you. A season where heaven surrounds you like a circle of fire, where angels accompany your steps like loyal sentinels. Their presence doesn't remove every challenge, but it prevents challenges from destroying you. They don't silence every storm, but they ensure the storm cannot take you off course. You are covered. You are guarded. You are reinforced on all sides. And because heaven is investing in you, I want to gently invite you to invest in the mission that brings these messages to you. If this journey has strengthened you, if it has given you clarity, peace, or confirmation, then consider supporting it in whatever way you feel led. A like, a share, a subscription, or even a small donation is more than an action. It becomes a seed that expands the reach of the very messages that are nurturing your spirit. Think of it as adding oil to a lamp that continues to guide others through their darkness. Just as this light is guiding you, there is no pressure, no demand, only invitation. Support in any form helps this message reach more souls who need the same reassurance heaven is offering you now. And every gesture, big or small, becomes part of the spiritual ripple extending from your obedience. For now, continue walking with the quiet confidence that angels are flanking your steps. They have been commanded to guard you, and they fulfill that assignment with unwavering loyalty. Your journey is not unprotected, it is fortified. And as you move forward, heaven moves with you. You move forward into this new clarity, and as the path continues to unfold beneath your feet, you begin to understand why obedience mattered in ways you could never have predicted. At first, it felt simple, almost too simple. Quiet, yes, a subtle shift, a willingness to follow what you sensed rather than what you saw. But now you recognize that your obedience was not random. It was not small. It was not insignificant. It was timed, appointed, strategically placed by heaven at the very moment when the trajectory of your life needed to turn. There are assignments heaven cannot release until your heart reaches a certain posture, not because God waits to punish, but because He waits to protect you from stepping into something unprepared. Obedience softens the soil, opens the door, widens the path for divine instruction to settle, take root, and bear fruit. And now, in this specific moment, heaven is beginning to reveal why your obedience carried so much weight. You may sense this unveiling as a growing awareness within you. Perhaps ideas are emerging more easily. Perhaps clarity appears in situations that once felt foggy. Perhaps certain desires are stirring that you had once buried under disappointment or past pain. These are not random stirrings. They are pieces of an assignment that God has waited to place into your hands until your spirit was steady enough to carry it. The ancient wisdom of Scripture confirms this beautiful truth. It is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. This is more than guidance. This is a map. a blueprint, a revelation. Your obedience, your simple act of acknowledging God in your decisions, has straightened paths you didn't even realize had been crooked. It realigned routes that life had twisted. It unknotted places where confusion once lived. In response to your acknowledgement, heaven is making the way clear, direct, open. You are beginning to see the early signs of this. What once felt complicated now feels simpler. What once felt blocked now feels possible. What once felt overwhelming now feels aligned. Heaven is not simply giving you an assignment, it is preparing you to flourish within it. There are responsibilities you are about to step into that fit you in a way nothing else has. Not like a burden, but like a garment tailored specifically for your spirit. You may have carried roles in the past that drained you, but this new assignment will strengthen you. You may have walked paths that exhausted you, but this one will revive you. You may have been stretched thin by expectations that were never yours, but this assignment will feel like you are finally stepping into the reason you were made. This is why certain things had to leave your life recently. It was not rejection, it was clearing space. You cannot receive new instruction while clutching outdated burdens. This is why certain relationships dissolved or faded. They could not walk with you into what heaven is building through you. This is why certain opportunities closed abruptly. They were distractions from the assignment that truly belongs to you. Heaven has been pruning, removing, shifting, aligning, sometimes gently, sometimes painfully, but always purposefully. Your assignment requires clarity, and heaven is granting it piece by piece. You may not see the full picture yet. You are not meant to. Not because God withholds, but because He protects. If He showed you everything at once, the magnitude of it might overwhelm you. So instead, He reveals it like dawn, slowly, steadily, beautifully, until the full light settles. And now, as this clarity grows, something else awakens in you, a sense of readiness, a quiet courage, a rising expectation that whispers, something is coming. You may feel it in your chest, like a gentle pressure, or in your thoughts, like a sudden sharpening, or in your daily life, where small signs begin appearing: conversations, confirmations, unexpected shifts that all point in the same direction. Heaven is preparing to place something in your hands, not something ordinary, not something temporary, not something shallow, something divine, something built into your destiny, something only a chosen one can carry. And if your spirit feels this, if there is even a subtle echo inside you confirming it, then I want you to mark this moment in the comments, not as ceremony but as spiritual agreement. Comment the number 444. This number symbolizes, I am aligned with my divine assignment. It is a declaration that you are ready for what heaven is preparing to entrust to you. Your obedience opened the door. Your alignment clears the path. Your assignment is drawing near. As you continue along this unfolding path, you begin to notice that certain weights you carried for so long that you almost forgot they were there, are starting to loosen their grip. At first, it feels subtle, almost like the faint cracking of ice beneath early spring sunlight. Quiet, fragile, barely noticeable. But then the shift becomes undeniable. Something inside you is breaking free, and not through struggle, but through transformation. Heaven is not only guiding your steps forward, it is dismantling the chains you have outgrown. These chains were never meant to define you, but for a time, they shaped your thoughts, shaped your habits, shaped your sense of possibility. They whispered lies that sounded like truth. They limited your movement. They held you in cycles that felt familiar but suffocating. Some chains were forged from fear. But heaven sees the growth in you. Heaven sees the maturity rising in your spirit. Heaven sees the obedience that restructured your foundation. And because you have stepped into this new alignment, the chains that once clung to you no longer fit. They are too small for who you are becoming. This is why certain old habits suddenly feel uncomfortable. Why old desires no longer satisfy. Why old coping mechanisms no longer soothe. Why the old version of you feels distant, outgrown, almost foreign. It is not that you changed randomly. It is that heaven elevated you. Your spirit expanded. And everything that cannot rise with you has begun to fall away. Some chains break loudly, dramatically, all at once. Others fall silently, piece by piece, like rusted metal surrendering to the softness of time. And you may find yourself tempted to cling to them, not because you need them, but because they are familiar. Humans often cling to familiarity, even when it no longer serves them. There are chains you carried that were never visible to others, disappointment that settled like dust on your heart, fear disguised as caution, doubt wrapped in overthinking, guilt that lingered long after forgiveness had already been given. But the moment heaven began dismantling these chains, you felt something shift inside, a deeper breath, a softer mean, a clear heart. The sacred writings describe heaven's intent with powerful clarity, as written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 6. Is not this the fast that I choose, to loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the straps of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke? These words reveal a divine pattern, a heavenly promise. God does not merely lighten burdens, He breaks them, not partially, not temporarily, but completely. He does not teach you to tolerate chains. He destroys them so thoroughly that they can no longer be repaired or reattached. This breaking is not always comfortable. Sometimes it comes with the pain of letting go. Sometimes with the ache of releasing what once felt essential. Sometimes with the confusion of stepping into unfamiliar freedom. But it is always holy, always intentional, always necessary. You may notice that your relationships are changing not because people are bad, but because you are shifting into a version of yourself that can no longer be bound by the expectations of others. You may find that certain conversations drain you more quickly, not because you are becoming impatient, but because your spirit no longer resonates with negativity or smallness. You may find that things you tolerated for years now feel unbearable, not because you are difficult, but because you are rising. As chains break, identity emerges, confidence awakens, purpose becomes clearer. You begin to realize that the limitations you once believed were permanent were only temporary assignments, places you were never meant to remain. And as heaven dismantles what once held you, you discover parts of yourself that had been buried beneath survival. Creativity returns, hope returns, vision returns. The desire to build, grow, explore, and step into more than what you once settled for begins to spark again. This is not regression. This is resurrection. Pieces of you that were dormant are being revived. Parts of you that had been silenced are being restored. You are not returning to who you were. You are rising into who you were always meant to become. Heaven is breaking the chains you outgrew because your next season requires a freer version of you, a stronger version of you, a version of you who is not defined by the weight of the past, but by the calling of the future. The chains are falling, one by one, because you are being prepared to step into spaces where they cannot follow. And as they break, you begin to realize something profound. You were never the chain. You were the chosen one trapped inside it. And now you are stepping out. As you continue moving into this new clarity and freedom, something remarkable begins to rise within the spiritual realm around you. It is subtle at first, quiet, almost like a whisper traveling through an ancient hall, but then it grows stronger, clearer, unmistakably purposeful. Your name is being spoken in places you cannot see, not on earth, not in the small conversations of people, not in the shallow opinions of those who misunderstood you, but in the courts of heaven itself. Your faithfulness, your endurance, your obedience have created a resonance beyond your natural world. And heaven has taken notice. It is a strange feeling, isn't it? To sense that something beyond you is paying attention to you. To feel as though you are being watched over, recognized, remembered. You may not have physical evidence, but you can feel the pull of divine acknowledgement, the way your spirit seems to stand a little taller, the way your heart feels steadier, the way your steps feel guided with more precision than before. It is because heaven has recorded you. There are moments in your story that no one witnessed, moments when you chose integrity over convenience, compassion over bitterness, obedience over comfort. You may have thought those moments were invisible, forgotten, unnoticed, but heaven saw them. Heaven documented them. Heaven honored them. And now, in this sacred season, the record of your faithfulness is echoing through realms you cannot yet comprehend. Think of it like this. Heaven is not moved by noise, it is moved by sincerity. Not by performance, but by purity. Not by empty promises, but by consistent devotion. And you, despite battles, despite heartbreak, despite seasons of silence, have remained faithful in ways that even you have underestimated. There is a weight to that kind of endurance, a fragrance, a resonance. Heaven responds to it, just as a chamber responds to a well-struck note. This moment is not about reward, it is about recognition. When heaven speaks your name, it is not for your ego, it is for your assignment. It is the acknowledgement that you have passed through seasons meant to crush you, yet emerged with your heart still open, your spirit still listening, your soul still willing. That kind of resilience does not go unnoticed. The ancient text reveals a moment like this, a moment when faithfulness was remembered beyond the earth, as written in the book of Malachi, chapter 3. Verse 16, Then those who feared the Lord spoke with one another. The Lord paid attention and heard them, and a book of remembrance was written before him. This verse is not a metaphor. It is a blueprint of what is happening with you right now. Heaven remembers, heaven records, heaven acknowledges, and do not assume that remembrance is passive. When heaven remembers, heaven responds. The speaking of your name is not a casual mention, it is an act of activation. It is a divine announcement that you are entering a season where your faithfulness becomes a key, unlocking what once felt sealed. There are blessings tied to your name. There are doors tied to your endurance. There are breakthroughs tied to your obedience. And heaven is preparing to release them. You might feel this recognition in sudden waves of peace that have no logical source, in bursts of confidence that appear out of nowhere, in moments of unexpected clarity guiding your decisions. These are signs that heaven is aligning things around you because your name is active in the spiritual realm. Angels are moving, not simply because you prayed, but because your faithfulness has been documented. There are times when you have wondered if your sacrifices mattered, times when you questioned whether your tears were seen, times when you doubted if your quiet acts of kindness, forgiveness, or loyalty carried any weight. But they did. Heaven saw. Heaven heard. Heaven wrote it down, not to keep score, but to honor the heart you carried through seasons that tried to harden it. And now, as your name echoes through heaven, there is a shift happening around you. It is small for now, but it will not stay small. Alignment always begins as a whisper before it becomes a wave. Destiny always begins as a stirring before it becomes a manifestation. What you feel now is the early tremor of what heaven is preparing to release later. This is why the journey ahead feels strangely guided. Why doors you never expected are starting to crack open. Why clarity is emerging at the edges of your decisions. Why peace is settling where anxiety once ruled. Your name is being honored, not by men, but by heaven itself. And in the courts of heaven, when your name is spoken, things begin to move. As you continue forward, you begin to notice something almost surreal unfolding around your steps. The obstacles that once loomed large no longer carry the same weight. The places that once felt impossible to navigate now seem strangely manageable. Situations that once threatened to crush you are losing their grip, dissolving like mist in morning light. You may not realize it yet, but you are walking through things that were designed to break you, and yet you are not breaking. You are moving. You are progressing. You are advancing with a quiet strength that does not come from you alone. There is a presence around you now, one you may feel but cannot fully see. A presence that goes ahead of you before you take a single step. A presence that stands behind you when you feel unsure. A presence that fills the space you walk through like a shield, redirecting what was meant to harm you and dismantling what was meant to block you. Heaven has not only acknowledged your obedience, it has surrounded you with protection. Think of your journey like walking through a dense forest at night. Before, every sound startled you. Every shadow felt threatening. Every step felt uncertain. But now, even though the forest remains, something has changed. It is as if invisible guardians brush branches aside, smooth the path beneath your feet, illuminate hidden dangers before you reach them. You may not hear their voices, but you feel their effect. Safety, clarity, confidence. You are not wandering blindly, you are being guided. There were roads you walked in your past where you felt alone, exposed, vulnerable. But now, when you step forward, heaven steps forward with you. When you enter a difficult place, angels enter before you. When you approach closed doors, something unseen begins working on the hinges. The obstacles you face do not vanish, but they weaken. They lose authority. They crumble. This reality is echoed in the ancient words written in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. The imagery is powerful. Encamps, surrounds, defends, delivers. This is not a fleeting visit. This is a stationed presence. Angels are not simply passing by. They have set up camp around your life, forming a spiritual perimeter that darkness cannot cross without consequence. This is why certain battles ended abruptly, even though you didn't have the strength to fight them. This is why certain crisis moments resolved faster than expected, even though you felt unprepared. This is why certain attacks collapsed before they reached you, even though you were unaware they were coming. Heaven intervened. Angels stepped in. Protection outpaced the danger. You may look back at certain seasons now and realize you survived things that should have destroyed you. You endured storms without understanding how you were still standing afterward. You came out of situations that others could not have escaped. And now, in this moment, the truth becomes clearer. You were carried. You were guarded. You were delivered because you were chosen. And as you continue moving forward, you will notice a new kind of courage rising within you, a courage not rooted in your own ability, but in the certainty that you are not walking alone. A courage that whispers, "Keep going," even when your circumstances say otherwise. A courage that carries you through what once intimidated you, because you now understand that what stands with you is greater than what stands against you. You are being escorted through what was meant to break you. You are being guided through what was meant to trap you. You are being strengthened through what was meant to overwhelm you. Every step you take is not just movement, it is victory. And heaven is ensuring that your steps do not falter. So in this moment, if your spirit feels the truth of this, if something inside you recognizes that you have not been walking alone, then perform a simple act of agreement. Comment, "I move forward." Emsro. These 3 words are not just a phrase, they are a declaration. They mark your readiness to continue, your willingness to trust, and your agreement with heaven's protection over your life. Commenting them is your way of aligning your spirit with the path angels are preparing beneath your feet, because you are not merely surviving what tried to break you, you are walking through it. And heaven is walking with you. As you keep walking forward, something begins to shift, not only around you, but within you. It's subtle at first, like the slow gathering of wind before a storm, or the way a flame grows taller without changing its sound. You sense it almost before you understand it. Your voice is changing, not its sound, not its volume, but its authority. There is a weight behind your words now, a resonance that didn't exist before. You speak, and the atmosphere pays attention. You pray, and things begin to move. You declare, and resistance weakens. This is not imagination. This is spiritual reality awakening inside you. Your obedience has not only summoned angels, it has placed a mantle of authority over your life. Heaven does not give authority cheaply. It is entrusted to those who have walked through shadows without losing their light, to those who have endured storms without surrendering their faith, to those who have been softened rather than hardened by pain. And you, chosen one, have become that person. You have earned heaven's trust through devotion, resilience, and surrender. Think of your authority like a lamp placed on a high hill. Before, your light illuminated only your immediate surroundings, your thoughts, your struggles, your choices. But now, the lamp has been elevated. The same flame burns, but its reach is wider. Its glow stretches farther. Shadows that once stood confidently now shrink back, because they know the authority behind that light. Or imagine your voice like a seed carried by the wind. Once, your words fell close to you, landing softly on familiar soil, rarely traveling far. But now, something has changed. Your words rise like seeds lifted by a powerful current, carried to places you may never physically reach. These words, your prayers, your declarations, your obedience take root in unseen ground, shaping futures you have not yet stepped into. The sacred text affirms this transformation with power, as it is written in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19. Behold, I give you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you. These words are not symbolic, they are positional. They define your place in the spiritual hierarchy. Darkness recognizes authority, and authority shines brighter than talent, louder than emotion, deeper than fear. This is why certain battles feel easier now, why old fears no longer intimidate you, why temptations that once ensnared you barely tug at you anymore. When authority awakens, warfare changes. You stop fighting like a survivor and start standing like a ruler. You stop reacting to darkness and begin commanding it. You stop fearing the storm and begin speaking to it. Your presence shifts atmospheres now. You may have noticed that some environments feel different when you enter them, not because of your personality, but because of your spirit. Conversations change when you speak. Tension eases when you pray. Peace settles when you step into the room. These are not coincidences. They are manifestations of authority. Imagine your authority like a river, widening after years of carving its path. It flows stronger, deeper, more confidently. Obstacles do not stop the river, they become shaped by it. This is what is happening inside you. Your authority is carving through obstacles that once stood immovable. You are not bending under pressure anymore. Pressure bends beneath you. And because of this growing authority, your voice now carries an assignment. There are people waiting for the words you have not yet spoken. There are hearts waiting for the light you carry. There are paths waiting for the direction that flows from your obedience. You are not only being strengthened for yourself, you are being strengthened for others. This is where I want to speak to you gently, sincerely, without pressure. If these messages have been shaping you, lifting you, guiding you, then consider giving back so the flow can reach more people just like you. A like, a share, a subscription, or even a donation becomes more than an action. It becomes a way of extending the river of authority that is flowing through you, like placing another torch on a long path so others can find their way as clearly as you are beginning to find yours. Think of it as adding wood to a fire that has been warming your spirit, not out of obligation, but out of gratitude, not out of duty, but out of alignment. Every gesture helps carry this message farther, to souls who need the same awakening you are experiencing. You are stepping into a new level now, a higher place, a realm where your authority is recognized by the unseen, honored by heaven, and feared by darkness. You are no longer speaking as someone finding their strength. You are speaking as someone who carries it. And as you continue walking, you will see evidence of this authority in moments that surprise you. Doors will open at your voice. Peace will settle at your prayer. Clarity will rise at your declaration. And the world around you will begin responding to the power that heaven has placed inside you. As you move forward carrying this mantle of rising authority, Something else begins to unfold around your life, something swift, almost startling in its pace. It begins quietly, like the first subtle shift of wind before a sudden change in weather. You may notice small signs at first, decisions becoming clearer, opportunities appearing with less effort, obstacles falling away without requiring you to push. It feels as though the spiritual atmosphere is leaning in your direction, as though time itself is beginning to rearrange its rhythm around your steps. This is the acceleration of God's timing. Acceleration does not announce itself loudly. Instead, it slips into your days with a gentle but undeniable force. Where you once struggled to gain traction, momentum now comes more naturally. Where progress was slow, movement now feels fluid. Where you once prayed and waited, now you pray and watch things unfold with unusual speed. It is not coincidence. It is not luck. It is heaven's intentional response to your alignment. Acceleration is heaven's way of redeeming time. Time you lost. Time that was stolen. Time that felt wasted. Time that slipped through your fingers in seasons when you were fighting battles you didn't understand. It is heaven saying, "You will not stay behind. You will not be delayed. What was slowed will now be quickened." And so, the pace of your journey changes. Not chaotically, but divinely. The sacred text speaks of this phenomenon with prophetic clarity, as written in the book of Amos. Chapter 9, verse 13. "The days are coming when the plowman shall overtake the reaper and the treader of grapes, him who sows the seed." Acceleration does not remove effort, but it multiplies its effect. It takes what you do and magnifies it. It takes what you sow and speeds its return. You are not bypassing growth. You are simply no longer bound by the delays that once hindered you. Heaven has removed the friction from your path. You may feel this acceleration emotionally first. A renewed eagerness, a sense of readiness, a clarity of vision that surprises you with its precision. The heaviness that once slowed your thoughts lifts, and decisions that once felt complicated now fall into place as if they were always meant to be obvious. Your spirit feels more awake, more responsive, more attuned to the direction heaven is leading you. Then, the acceleration begins manifesting externally. Situations that were stagnant begin moving. Conversations that were stuck begin opening. People who were distant begin responding. And opportunities that seemed improbable begin unfolding in ways that make you stop and realize, this is not normal speed. This is divine speed. Acceleration feels like watching doors open before you reach for them. It feels like stepping into a room where your name has already been spoken, your presence already expected. It feels like finding answers you didn't know you needed. It feels like the right people appearing at the right time for reasons even they cannot explain. And yet, acceleration is not reckless. It does not push you beyond what you can carry. Heaven does not accelerate your life to overwhelm you. It accelerates your life to align you. You are being brought into synchronization with timing that once felt out of reach. What heaven wrote for you is catching up to where you now stand. There may have been seasons where you felt painfully behind in healing, behind in purpose, behind in progress, behind in growth. But acceleration erases the illusion of behind. Heaven does not measure you by human calendars. Heaven measures you by readiness. And now that you are aligned, strengthened, purified, and attuned, time responds accordingly. It bends, it speeds, It converges. It cooperates with your calling. And as acceleration increases, something else awakens within you, a deeper trust. Because you begin to see how heaven is not only orchestrating events around you, but also preparing you for them. You feel steadier in yourself. You are not rushing to keep up. You are not frantic. Acceleration does not make you frantic. It makes you focused. It sharpens your vision. It narrows your attention. It draws your gaze toward what truly matters. Even your past begins to feel different under acceleration, not because it changes, but because its weight diminishes. The time you thought you lost begins to feel redeemed. The mistakes you thought ruined you begin to reveal their hidden wisdom. The detours you thought slowed you begin to show their purpose. Acceleration reframes the journey. What once looked like delay now looks like preparation. This is the season where heaven removes the slow pace that once frustrated you and places you on a path where things move in rhythm with divine intention. And though the world may not understand how quickly things shift for you, your spirit understands. This is what happens when the timing of heaven and the obedience of a chosen one finally meet. As you move deeper into the flow of acceleration heaven has set around your life, you begin to feel something even more intimate, something quieter than the movement of angels and subtler than the shifting of circumstances. It is a kind of recognition, a spiritual marking, a divine distinction that sets you apart from the noise of the world. Heaven knows who listens, and you are one who listens. This is not mere obedience anymore. This is identity. You have become someone who responds to the whisper before the shout, someone who senses the nudge before the instruction, someone whose heart leans toward God even before your mind fully understands what He is doing. And heaven honors this. Heaven sees this. Heaven marks this. There are many who hear God's words, but few who listen. Listening is different. Hearing is passive. Listening is intentional. Hearing catches sound. Listening captures meaning. Hearing acknowledges presence. Listening acknowledges direction. And you, chosen one, have entered the rare space of listening, truly listening. This shift becomes evident in the way your spirit responds to life now. You may find that distractions irritate you more quickly than before, not out of impatience, but because your spirit is tuned to a higher frequency. You may sense certain environment draining you, not because you are fragile, but because you are becoming more sensitive to what aligns with your calling. You may notice yourself pulling away from noise, not physically, but spiritually, because your ears are no longer available to voices that conflict with God's. You are being distinguished, not separated as punishment, but separated as preparation. The distinction heaven is placing on you is purposeful, intentional, designed to sharpen your hearing and strengthen your sensitivity for what is coming next. The ancient text articulates this reality with profound clarity, as spoken by Jesus himself in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. This is not merely an invitation, it is an identity statement. You are known by heaven, marked as one who hears, set apart as one who follows. Being marked does not always feel glamorous. Sometimes it feels like isolation. Sometimes it feels like being misunderstood. Sometimes it feels like walking a path no one else recognizes. But this is because heaven is tuning your ears to its frequency, and not everyone can hear what you hear. You may notice that certain things which once pulled at your attention now feel strangely hollow. You may find that certain voices voices of fear, voices of pressure, voices of old burdens are growing quieter, fading into the background as if they no longer have permission to speak into your life. That is because heaven has placed its mark on you, and marked ones cannot be claimed by what they were freed from. This marking also brings clarity. You begin discerning the difference between God's voice and your own thoughts. You begin recognizing when something is a distraction rather than a direction. You begin sensing the subtle tone of divine conviction versus the harsh sting of false guilt. The more you listen, the clearer everything becomes. And with this clarity comes peace. Not the fragile peace built on circumstances, but the deep internal peace that comes from knowing you are walking with God, hearing God, responding to God. It is the peace of alignment, the peace of purpose, the peace of being known. Yet this marking also carries responsibility, a beautiful responsibility. When heaven marks someone as a listener, it entrusts them with guidance, with insight, with discernment that others often overlook. You may begin noticing that people come to you for clarity without knowing why. They sense stability in your presence, wisdom in your silence, direction in your words. This is not accidental. Heaven marked you, and others feel the imprint even if they cannot name it. Being marked also means being protected. When you hear God clearly, you avoid traps that were designed to delay you. You walk around pitfalls that once ensnared you. You sense danger before it forms. You sense opportunity before it appears. Listening becomes shielding. Listening becomes strengthening. Listening becomes strategy. And this is why heaven wants you aware of the identity you're stepping into. You are not wandering. You are being guided. You are not guessing. You are being instructed. You are not just someone who prays. You are someone who perceives. Heaven speaks, and your spirit responds. Chosen one. If you feel this truth stirring inside you, if your heart recognizes that you are being marked as a listener, then I want you to seal this moment with a prophetic act. Comment the number 555. This number symbolizes, I hear, I recognize, and I follow. It is not just a comment, it is an agreement with heaven's mark upon you. You are being distinguished. You are being attuned. You are being marked as one who listens, and heaven speaks to those who listen. As you continue walking in this new identity, marked, attuned, aligned, you begin to feel another shift unfolding within you. It is quieter than the warfare you survived, subtler than the acceleration you stepped into, and yet it carries a weight that cannot be ignored. You feel yourself being pulled away from certain spaces, certain environments, certain rhythms that once felt familiar. It's not rejection. It's not loneliness. It's not change for the sake of change. It is separation, holy, intentional, divinely orchestrated separation. This kind of separation does not happen all at once. It happens gradually, gently, like the tide pulling back from the shoreline. At first, you don't even realize it's happening. You simply feel less drawn to what once comforted you. You feel out of place in conversations that once entertained you. You feel disconnected from environments that once energized you. It may confuse you at first, but slowly you begin to understand. Heaven is lifting you out of what no longer aligns with your calling. There are seasons in life where God allows you to remain in certain places because those places shape you, refine you, strengthen you. But when the shaping is complete, when the refining has reached its purpose, those same places begin to feel too small, not because they are bad, but because you have outgrown them. Purpose requires space. Calling requires clarity. Growth requires separation. This is why certain relationships no longer feel as connected, not because of conflict, but because of evolution. The version of you who bonded with those individuals is not the version of you rising now. And sometimes, relational distance is simply a sign that heaven is redirecting your path, not punishing your heart. You may also notice emotional distance from old habits, old routines, old patterns. Things you once did without thinking now feel draining or empty. Paths you once walked automatically now feel unfamiliar, as if your spirit refuses to take steps backward. This is because separation is not just physical, it is spiritual. Heaven severs what would sabotage your progress. The ancient writings speak to this divine separation with clarity, as recorded in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 17. Therefore come out from among them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. These words are not harsh, they are protective. They are heaven's way of saying, I have more for you, but you must step away from what dilutes you. Oh, separation can feel painful because it often removes the familiar before revealing the new. It creates a space that feels like loss, but is actually preparation, a clearing, an emptying. Heaven removes what competes for your attention so you can receive what enhances your destiny. And though it may feel quiet, or lonely, or uncertain, the separation is not leaving you empty, it is leaving you available. You might feel, in this season, that you no longer fit into certain social circles, or certain mindsets, or certain emotional dynamics. This is not you becoming distant. This is you becoming transformed. Those old environments were containers for your former self, and the new you emerging cannot be contained by them. Heaven is stretching your identity beyond the boundaries of your past. There is also a deeper purpose behind this separation, one you may not fully grasp now, but will understand later. When God separates you, He is positioning you. When God removes you from the familiar, He is safeguarding your growth. When God pulls you away from the old, He is preparing the ground for the new. Separation is not abandonment, it is alignment. And then something else begins to happen in the quiet of this separation. Clarity emerges. Without the noise of misaligned environments, you can hear more clearly. Without the weight of old expectations, you can breathe more freely. Without the influence of old voices, you can discern more accurately. Heaven needed you separated so you could perceive what you once missed. You might feel a longing for companionship, but not the old kind, the deeper kind, the spiritually aligned kind, the kind that supports your calling rather than competes with it. That longing is confirmation that you are being prepared for divine connections, the ones that fit the newer version of you. Heaven separates before it connects. It empties before it fills. It shifts before it reveals. And though separation can feel like stepping away, it is actually stepping upward. You are moving into a higher realm of identity, purpose, and spiritual maturity. You are shedding the excess weight of who you no longer are. You are stepping out of the limits that could not hold who you are becoming. You are not losing your place. You are finding it. And heaven is guiding every step of the separation that makes room for what is coming next. As the quiet work of separation continues shaping you, Another shift begins to rise within the deepest places of your spirit, something ancient, something sacred, something you were always meant to carry. It doesn't arrive with noise or spectacle, but with a sense of gravity, as though heaven itself is placing something into your hands that was reserved for you long before you took your first breath. You may not have words for it yet, but your spirit recognizes it instantly. You are receiving a mantle. A mantle is not a talent. It is not a skill. It is not mere inspiration. A mantle is a divine empowerment, an anointing tailored specifically for your calling, woven through your history, refined through your suffering, and activated through your obedience. This mantle is the reason your path has felt so unusual. It is why your journey never resembled the journeys of those around you. It is why you could not settle where others settled. Why your spirit resisted mediocrity, even when your circumstances seemed to demand it. Why heaven kept pulling you out of environments that dulled your sensitivity or diluted your purpose. The mantle you were born for required purification, preparation, and perseverance. And whether you realized it or not, your life has been shaped for this very moment. Sometimes, heaven conceals mantles until the heart is ready, not because it is withholding, but because premature revelation can destroy a destiny. A mantle must be carried with humility, not pride with discernment, not impulse with surrender, not self-reliance. And now, after all you've walked through, you are finally ready. Heaven does nothing without intention. Every wound, every victory, every closed door, every breakthrough has led you to this threshold. The sacred writings describe this moment with powerful imagery, as recorded in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6. Fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. These words speak of awakening, rekindling, activating. A mantle is not merely given, it is ignited, and something inside you is catching fire, not with emotional excitement, but with holy purpose. You begin to notice this activation in small but profound ways. Strength rises in you where weakness once thrived. Clarity sharpens where confusion once clouded your thoughts. You feel a new level of determination, not born of stubbornness, but of divine resolve. You sense a boldness growing, not loud, not arrogant, but steady, grounded, unmistakable. This boldness is not personality, it is mantle. You may notice new kinds of ideas forming in your mind, ideas that carry a sense of mission. You may feel a pull toward things you once felt unqualified for. You may sense new compassion for people you once overlooked, or new courage where fear once reigned. These changes are not random. They are the first fruits of a mantle settling upon your life. And with this mantle comes authority, not the authority of loud declarations, but the authority of presence. People will feel the difference in you before they can explain it. Atmospheres will respond to you. Conversations will shift when you speak. Discernment will sharpen in moments you once walked blindly. You will find yourself knowing things you did not study, sensing things you did not logically deduce, understanding things your mind cannot explain. This is the mantle at work. Yet receiving a mantle also means stepping into deeper responsibility, not heavy responsibility, but sacred responsibility. Heaven entrusts mantles only to those who can be trusted with influence, with revelation, with spiritual weight. You are being entrusted because you have shown heaven your devotion, your humility, your willingness to obey, even when obedience cost you comfort. But do not mistake responsibility for burden. This mantle will not drain you, it will sustain you. It will not pressure you, it will empower you. It will not burden your shoulders, it will strengthen your spirit. Heaven never gives a mantle without giving the grace to carry it. You may find yourself remembering old dreams you once abandoned, dreams that now feel alive again, drawing breath as if washed in fresh oil. You may find the vision for your future expanding, stretching beyond the limits you once placed upon yourself. This is because your mantle aligns you with heaven's perspective, not human limitation. You will dream differently now. You will see differently now. You will walk differently now. You are receiving the mantle you were born for, not borrowed, not inherited from another, not imitated, but crafted specifically for you, a mantle that fits your history, your heart, your spirit, your destiny, and heaven is placing it upon you now. As the mantle settles over your spirit, something profound begins to radiate from within you, something not loud, not forceful, yet unmistakably powerful. You begin to notice that your very presence carries a new kind of weight, a quiet authority that shifts the unseen even before you speak. It is as if the atmosphere takes a breath when you enter a space, recalibrating itself around the light you carry. The battles you once fought with exhaustion, fear, or uncertainty no longer cling to you as they once did. You are not wrestling in the dark anymore. You are walking with the awareness that heaven stands beside you. Your presence alone disrupts the strategies formed against you. Darkness once approached you boldly. Now, it hesitates. Shadows that once lingered near your steps now retreat at the sound of your breath. Imagine your presence like a lighthouse on a violent coast. The storms still rage. The waves still crash. Yet everything changes the moment your light appears. Ships find direction. Waters calm near the beam. Dangers that once hid in the dark become exposed. You are that lighthouse steady, unshaken, illuminating. Or picture your presence like the first warm light of sunrise creeping into a frozen valley. The frost does not fight the sun, it melts in its presence. The cold does not resist it, surrenders. This is what happens spiritually when you show up. Heaviness lifts. Confusion weakens. Hidden attacks lose their edge. Hope awakens. Not because you try harder, but because the mantle you carry has changed the spiritual temperature of every place your feet touch. The ancient scriptures speak to this truth with absolute authority, declaring in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 31, "If God be for us, who can be against us?" This is not merely encouragement, it is a spiritual decree. Nothing aligned against you can overpower what stands behind you. You carry the backing of heaven, and heaven does not lose battles. This is why certain conflicts seem to dissolve before they escalate. Why people who tried to war against you suddenly fall silent. Why accusations lose their sting. Why envy cannot cling to you. The atmosphere recognizes what you carry even when people do not. The unseen realm responds to you because heaven has marked you as its own. And as your presence becomes a battlefield victory, you will also notice something else. Opposition may still appear, but it no longer phases you. The battles that once triggered fear now awaken strategy. The challenges that once overwhelmed you now sharpen your resolve. You have grown beyond reacting emotionally. You now respond spiritually. This is maturity. This is authority. This is the fruit of a chosen one, walking fully in alignment with divine purpose. Your footsteps have become declarations. Your decisions have become disruptions to darkness. Your peace has become a weapon. Your very life is now a testimony that heaven wins, even in the quiet, even in the subtle, even in the ordinary moments most people overlook. And because heaven is advancing with you, it's important to recognize how much your journey matters, not only to God, but to others walking silently through their own battles. Messages like these reach them because someone supported the mission that allowed the message to reach you. And so, if this journey has blessed you, strengthened you, or awakened something deep within your spirit, I want to gently and sincerely invite you to help extend its reach. A like, a share, a subscription. They may feel small, but they are seeds. Seeds that help this message travel farther, to souls who need the same clarity and confirmation you've been receiving. And if you feel led, even a donation becomes a way of pouring oil onto the flame that lights the path for others. It is not obligation, it is alignment. It is not pressure, it is partnership. What has nourished, you can nourish many, and you can help carry that light forward. And if this section touched something deep in you, I also invite you to comment your reflections below, not just as engagement, but as testimony. Your words may be the confirmation someone else is longing for. Your experience may become the bridge for another soul's breakthrough. This is how chosen ones strengthen chosen ones. Because now, with every step you take, heaven advances. With every breath you release, darkness retreats. With every moment you stand, the battlefield shifts in your favor. You are no longer merely surviving spiritual conflict. Your presence has become the victory. As you continue walking in the strength of the mantle placed upon you, another revelation begins to unfold, one that is quieter than warfare, gentler than acceleration, yet more powerful than either. You begin to notice doors appearing before you that you did not knock on, pathways opening that you did not force, opportunities forming that you did not manufacture. It feels almost surreal, as though you are stepping into a rhythm where life itself is cooperating with your destiny. This is not coincidence. This is not the result of striving. This is the movement of heaven, opening doors no human can shut. There are seasons where you push, and seasons where you wait. But this season is different. You are not pushing doors open. They are opening at your approach. You are not begging for opportunities. They are being aligned with your steps. You are not chasing after what is meant for you. What is meant for you is being ushered into your path. At first, these doors may seem small, almost insignificant. A conversation that takes a surprising turn, a chance meeting that feels purposeful, a thought that comes at the right moment, guiding you towards something you had not considered. But then the pattern becomes clear. These openings are not random, they are orchestrated. There were doors you once tried to open in your own strength. You pushed, you waited, you knocked, you prayed, and yet nothing happened. You may have wondered then if you were unworthy or forgotten. But heaven was not refusing you, heaven was protecting you. A door opened at the wrong time is more dangerous than a door that never opens. Now you are that version. Your character is stronger, your discernment is sharper, your spirit is anchored, your obedience is matured. You can be trusted with openings that once would have overwhelmed you. And so, heaven begins to shift the hinges. What you are stepping into is not a door someone gifted you through favor or pity. It is a door written into your destiny. There are no fingerprints on it except God's. No person can claim credit for it. No circumstance can block it. No enemy can close it. It opens because heaven wills it open, and it remains open because heaven sustains it. This truth echoes through the ancient writings with unmistakable authority, as spoken in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. These words do not describe possibility, they describe certainty. An open door is not a suggestion. It is a decree. It is a divine statement that what is aligned with your purpose cannot be taken from you, blocked from you, or delayed any longer. You may feel this opening internally before you see it externally. A sense of readiness, a strange peace, a quiet confidence that whispers, something is coming, and I will know when it arrives. That whisper is not imagination, it is spiritual recognition. Your spirit can sense what your mind has not yet fully understood. Heaven is preparing access, and these doors will not require you to shrink yourself to enter. They will not require you to compromise your integrity. They will not require you to suppress your calling or hide your anointing. These are doors tailored to your identity, not to who you were, but to who you have become. Sometimes the first sign of an open door is not an opportunity, but a release, a letting go of something you were holding, a quiet completion of a season, a sudden disinterest in what once consumed you. When heaven opens a new door, it often closes your appetite for the old one, not because the old was wrong, but because the new is better. And as you walk closer to these openings, you may notice that heaven simplifies things. Decisions become clearer. Confusion fades. Options narrow until the right one stands alone. This is how heaven guides chosen ones through clarity, not pressure, through peace, not bunits. Even now, doorways are forming in areas that once felt barren: relationships, purpose, creativity, opportunities, healing, influence. The ground that was once dry is softening. The paths that once felt blocked are straightening. The places where nothing moved for a long time are beginning to shift. Some doors are for entering, some doors are for exiting, and some doors are for elevation. You will know which is which, because heaven will illuminate them in due time. Nothing can stop what God has opened for you, and nothing can open what God has closed behind you. You are walking into a season where access is no longer earned by striving, it is granted by divine alignment. And as you step toward these doors, heaven is already waiting on the other side. As you approach the final stretch of this unfolding journey, something begins to settle gently but undeniably in your spirit, a realization that you are no longer standing on the outside of the life you prayed for. You are stepping into it, not suddenly, not by accident, not through force, but through a divine sequence of alignment, obedience, refinement, and revelation. Everything you have walked through has led you here, to the threshold of fulfillment. This fulfillment is not merely external. It is not limited to opportunities, accomplishments, or visible blessings, though those will come in their time. The deeper fulfillment is internal. It is the calm settling into your bones, the assurance rising in your chest, the clarity anchoring your mind. It is the quiet knowing that you are exactly where heaven wants you to be, moving in rhythm with a purpose that has been pursuing you for years. You begin to notice how the pieces of your life, pieces that once felt scattered, broken, or contradictory, now fall into place with effortless clarity. Moments that once confused you now make sense. Delays that once frustrated you now reveal their protection. Losses that once wounded you now reveal their wisdom. Every chapter that shaped you was not random. It was preparation. You were not wandering, you were being guided. And now, in this moment, the guidance becomes direction. The direction becomes movement, and the movement becomes manifestation. You are stepping into the life that was written for you long before you knew how to dream it. It does not arrive loudly. It arrives like dawn, soft, steady, inevitable, a warmth spreading across the horizon of your future, signaling that darkness is ending and visibility is returning. You may not see everything clearly yet, but you see enough to know you are walking toward something true, something meant for you, something ordained. This is the season when purpose begins to feel natural instead of forced, when peace feels familiar instead of temporary, when your spirit stops striving and starts flowing, when the weight you carried for years lifts, not because the world has changed, but because you have changed within it. The ancient promise that has echoed through generations now becomes personal, rising like a whisper from the deepest parts of Scripture. It is written in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. You are not stepping into chance. You are stepping into design. Not into uncertainty, but into intention. Not into fear, but into future. And this future is not fragile. It has been built carefully, patiently, lovingly. Heaven has been shaping it while shaping you. Every season of waiting strengthened your roots. Every season of stretching expanded your capacity. Every season of breaking opened your spirit to deeper alignment. You are not the same person you were when your journey began. You have grown in resilience, in wisdom, in authority, in clarity. You have become someone who can carry the weight of destiny without collapsing beneath it. You may feel this shift inside you now, a sense of readiness, not born of impatience, but of maturity, a readiness that says, I am prepared to receive what I once only prayed for, a readiness that understands fulfillment is not an event, but a continuation of alignment, a readiness that knows heaven gives gifts only when you are strong enough to hold them, wise enough to use them, and surrendered enough to honor them. You are entering a season where what you carry will match what you receive, where the external world begins to reflect the internal transformation that has taken place within you, where blessings no longer slip through your fingers because your spirit is steady enough to contain them, where opportunities no longer intimidate you because you finally recognize your worth, where relationships align with who you are becoming, not who you once were. This fulfillment will not dilute you. It will expand you. It will not overwhelm you. It will elevate you. It will not distract you. It will reinforce your purpose. You are stepping into answered prayers, not because heaven suddenly decided to favor you, but because you have become the version of yourself who can walk in the answer with wisdom and grace. Take a moment now, chosen one, and breathe. Let everything you've just walked through settle gently into your spirit. You have traveled from obedience to awakening, from awakening to warfare, from warfare to clarity, from clarity to calling. You have risen through layers of identity, purpose, separation, and divine empowerment. This journey was not a story told to you, it was a mirror held up for you, a reflection of who you are becoming, a confirmation of what heaven has always known about you. You may not feel the magnitude of it all at once. Transformation rarely announces itself with trumpets. It arrives softly, in steady waves, in quiet realizations, in subtle shifts inside your heart. But when you look back, you will see the undeniable movement of heaven in every chapter, guiding you, shaping you, protecting you, preparing you. This is your reminder that you are not behind. You are not late. You have not missed anything that was meant for you. Heaven is far more patient, precise, and protective than your fears have ever allowed you to believe. Everything that belongs to your destiny is still ahead of you. Waiting on the path, your obedience continues to unlock. As you leave this final section, carry this truth with you. You are chosen. You are guided. You are protected. You are prepared. And your story is far from finished. The same God who walked you through this journey will walk you through the next, and the next after that, and every season beyond it. Your steps are ordered. Your future is blessed, and heaven is still moving on your behalf.